And it looked like there is more drama coming out of the Caitlin Clark pipeline with her final preseason.
If Caitlin Clark gets back her, I can't feel my face.
Oh.
I can't feel it. Are they?
She gonna do it.
Nah, I don't think she let that just go. I'm gonna just be honest.
Caitlin Clark is back, and unfortunately, so are the refs who must have earned their credentials from the bottom of a cereal box. If you thought last season's whistle-happy chaos had wrapped, think again. Clark's out here torching the scoreboard with 30-point games, while the officials seem determined to subtract from the collective IQ of the sport. Did someone forget to sub them out? Or are they just lifetime members of the Anti-Caitlin Club? Either way, grab your popcorn. This fiasco is sizzling hotter than her three-point percentage. It's maddening, it's hilarious, and oh yes, we're diving all the way in.
They need to be investigated ASAP. We see what's happening with Caitlin Clark. There's no reason you shouldn't be protecting your star player, because without Caitlin Clark, there won't be no sold-out arenas. The viewership on TV would not be like it is now, where everybody's watching it because it's must-watch TV. But we are seeing how she's being.
You know what's apparently tougher than defending Caitlin Clark in the WNBA? Finding a ref who can actually see it happen. Here we go again. Clark steps onto the court with a target on her back the size of Indiana, gets clotheslined like it's a throwback to WWE circa 1997. And the refs? They are off in the corner doing downward dog or bird watching. Maybe they thought they signed up for Cirque du Soleil instead of a professional basketball league, because whatever that was during the Fever versus Dream game, it wasn't officiating. It was interpretive dance with whistles.
The refs and start the video there and center it on that. The WNBA refs are not consistent. A hit to the arm on one play is a foul, and a hit to the arm on another play is not a foul. The inconsistency is really bad for this league, especially with all these players you got coming in. You got Caitlin leading it, right?
Caitlin Clark, arguably the most hyped player to hit WNBA hardwood in decades, is out here trying to run an offense while the opposing team looks like they're auditioning for American Gladiators. She's executing plays, knocking down shots, dropping dimes, and in return, she's getting hit like she's late on rent. The Atlanta Dream didn't just play physical. They made it look like their game plan was pulled from an ancient scroll titled, Step 1, stop Caitlin. Step 2, if that fails, initiate full contact warfare.
DJ Currington situation. Yesterday, I did a DJ Currington video kind of breaking down that whole thing, technical on that. They didn't call nothing on that for her poking Caitlin Clark in the eye, and that really had me thinking like, damn, nothing on that for her poking Caitlin Clark in the eye, and that really had me thinking like, damn, how many times did they actually, drop the ball and didn't call stuff against Caitlin? Now, Caitlin got called for a technical for hitting the back of the backboard.
And still, the refs? Absolutely nothing. Not a word. You'd have a better shot at getting a foul call from a traffic light. But wait, it gets even better. The one time someone finally blew a whistle, it was to hit Caitlin Clark with her first technical foul of 2025. That's right. They missed every shove, elbow, and trip she took all game. But the moment she looked mildly frustrated, out came the tech. Apparently, in the WNBA, getting assaulted on the court is fine, but showing emotion about it, now that's a real problem. Forget the hits. Clark's tone was the real threat. Maybe the WNBA should invest in emotion meters, because apparently, frowning after getting launched into a courtside chair now earns you a technical. Oh no, she showed a human emotion. That's AT. At this point, WNBA referees are like characters in a horror movie who stroll past the masked killer and mutter, must have been the wind. Caitlin Clark could get dunked headfirst into a popcorn machine and the officials would shrug it off with, incidental contact. Play on.
I'm here to tell you, this is getting mixed reviews. Some people saying Caitlin Clark pushed off. Another person is saying the other players bear hug Caitlin Clark. But let's read what the caption stated. It says, the ref standing right there watching her put two hands on CC waist. If he didn't call that, he ain't calling the push off.
Let's talk about the epidemic. Yes, epidemic of WNBA officiating that makes you wonder if the refs are using a capture the flag rulebook instead of one for professional basketball. Because Caitlin Clark isn't the only one getting body checked like it's a hockey game. She's just the most visible target. And that visibility? It should matter. You'd think the league would treat her like the marketing miracle she is. a walking billboard for women's basketball who boosts ticket sales, spikes TV ratings, and breaks the internet just by lacing up her sneakers. Common sense says she should be wrapped in bubble wrap and escorted by the Secret Service. Instead, the WNBA's unofficial policy seems to be, let's grow the game by letting defenders act like she's behind on rent. The silence from league officials? Deafening. No statements. No warnings. No accountability. Just eerie calm while chaos plays out in front of millions. Clark is getting battered in primetime, and the response isn't outrage, it's crickets. And it's not just her. Lesser-known players are taking the same hits without the benefit of headlines or highlight reels to draw attention to their treatment. If this is the WNBA's idea of protecting its future stars and the integrity of the game, it might be time for a new playbook. Preferably one that doesn't involve gladiator rules.
Pushed around, she's being slapped around, sometimes she's being punched around, and the fouls just keep getting harder and harder. When are the refs going to do their job? As a matter of fact, when is the WNBA going to do their job? Because there should be some suspensions, check. There should be some fines, check. And you should be setting an example for your star player. Because God forbid this young lady gets hurt. Everything collapses for the WNBA. So give credit where it's due. Stop with the hate behavior. Start calling the calls the way it's supposed to be.
It's honestly kind of impressive. WNBA referees have achieved a rare feat. Consistent incompetence across the board. True equality through neglect. Equal opportunity chaos. You take a slap to the face. No foul. Get body slammed into the third row. Must have been a flop. And heaven forbid you ask why there was no call. You'll get hit with a technical for daring to interrupt the referee's sacred silence. The bar for misconduct in this league is so low, it's practically underground. Take Caitlin Clark's now infamous technical. What was the crime, exactly? Being upright. Expressing a human emotion. Breathing with a little too much confidence. If existing while female and exceptional is the new benchmark for unsportsmanlike conduct, let's just hand out technicals at tip-off and save everyone the trouble. But this isn't about a single whistle or one bad game. It's a pattern. A pattern that's becoming more obvious with every quarter. And the strategy is clear. If you can't beat Caitlin Clark with skill, bulldoze her, and count on the refs to shrug, sip their coffee, and pretend nothing happened. The message being sent isn't play hard, play fair. It's play dirty, and we'll look the other way.
None of the calls being missed like we seen last year, bro. These referees have to get it together. Now, we know the Indiana Fever front office did everything they had to do, put the right pieces around Caitlin Clark, make sure they make it far in the playoffs and possibly get a WNBA championship. Well, that part is done. We got a new team. We got a new coach. They got everything they need to do to take off for the 2025 season. The only thing left is these WNBA referees. This need to be talked about, just like it was supposed to be talked about at the conclusion of that season. And I'm back on a bumper, bro. I am not letting up on them damn WNBA referees because they are the biggest haters when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
And yes, Atlanta Dream, we absolutely saw you. That wasn't defense. That was a full-blown, live-action episode of American Ninja Warrior, with Caitlin Clark cast as the main obstacle. At one point, I was half expecting a buzzer to go off and someone to shout, "She made it through the gauntlet." Because whatever that was, it wasn't basketball. It was a full-contact stunt show. And the WNBA officiating crew didn't even blink. They stood there like art critics in a gallery, nodding solemnly as if to say, "Ah yes, the brutality." Such a powerful commentary on the chaos of modern femininity. Truly avant-garde. At this rate, Caitlin might as well show up in full football gear, helmet, pads, cleats, because regular basketball uniforms clearly aren't enough. Although knowing these refs, they'd probably tee her up for excessive preparedness or unsportsmanlike use of safety equipment. But let's zoom out to the bigger tragedy here, WNBA officiating as a whole. If these refs were any more inconsistent, they'd be a toddler trying to pick a favorite crayon. You can get mauled on a drive and hear crickets, but raise your voice. Suddenly, you're the mustache-twirling villain in a daytime soap.
Fever fans, we got another W in the preseason against the Atlanta Dream, 81-76. There's a lot that went on in this game. So this was a very competitive game. All the way through, they were given full court defense on Caitlin Clark for the most part of the game. The starters did sit after three. Caitlin Clark finished with 13, 7, and 6. She could have had 12 to 15 assists. Wait until you see the highlights. She did drop a couple bombs. She hit 3 3-pointers. We did get a...
The league keeps claiming it wants more fans, more viewers, more buzz, more seats filled. Well, here's a revolutionary thought. Maybe don't let your biggest star get body slammed like she's auditioning for WWE Raw. Watching Caitlin Clark get hip-checked, elbowed, and bulldozed every night like she's in the middle of a Jason Bourne chase scene doesn't exactly scream must-watch TV. And the officials? Useless. They are not referees. They are glorified mannequins with whistles. Cones would offer more resistance. At least cones don't pretend to have authority. These refs, they are there for the cardio, not the calls. But the real MVP of this whole embarrassment? The league office. Silent. Mute. Vanished. No statement. No acknowledgement. Not even a generic, half-hearted "we'll look into it." Just a collective shrug, as if protecting star players is an optional setting you can toggle on and off. It begs the question, are they actually watching the games, or are they relying on a group of interns with dial-up internet and a carrier pigeon? Because from the outside, it looks a lot like negligence dressed up as professionalism. If you want fans to care, try showing that you care first. Right now, the only thing the WNBA seems to be protecting is its own indifference.
His hurdles for Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever last season was the WNBA referees. Now, the front office made it their business to revamp the team, bring in more aggressive players to help them get further in the WNBA season and possibly win a WNBA championship. But before any of that stuff can even get done, we have to take a look at the misguided missile that can destroy everything this upcoming season, and that is the WNBA referees and this secret agenda. Yes, there was a secret agenda against Caitlin Clark.